30. Should be a short meeting this evening because some things are not ready to go forward. So first item under old business, 15 and 21 Wolf Tree Drive, which is 1, 2, and 3 on the agenda. They're still trying to work out their situation with the land trust, and for Stephen's benefit, it involved a cease and desist. Property owner got carried away as far as what they were doing on the property. Filled some wetlands, took down a lot more than they should have. And so we've been spending the last 6 or 7 months trying to get restoration done. It's complicated because the activity went over the property line into the land trust property, so they're trying to work out everything. So we'll probably deal with it in September when we had hoped to get it done during the spring planting season, but we'll get it done during the fall planting season. So items 1, 2, and 3 are deferred till next meeting in September. Next item on the agenda, 16 Old Still Road, application for a wooden footbridge over a brook. That we just deferred to this month, Chris, right? Just because it had to be, it was activity in a wetland, so, yeah. I mean, we talked to the, no one's here on that tonight, but we talked to the applicant, last month about it, and we're filled in on what they plan to do. My thinking is that, he'd meet with you just to be sure that, when he actually starts the work, that, you're okay with exactly how it plays out, because the plans weren't too detailed, but they but they were decent enough, so. I don't know, does anybody else have any questions on that one? No?
No, that one seemed fine.
Okay, so, do we have a motion to approve the application, subject to usual stipulations, and, review by Chris of, the activity, pre-construction activity meeting with Chris? Anybody have anything else they want to add to that one?
I'll make the motion to approve the permit.
Okay.
As stated.
Jack moved, we have a second. Barry seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions, okay, that's all set. Next item, Patrick Harding, 72 Park Lane. Mr. Garcia, welcome. This was continued, because we needed Jim to review, the proposal as modified. Jim sent comments back that were favorable. Do you have anything else you wanna add to that?
Yeah, nothing to add, nothing.
Okay, Jim did talk about a bond in his letter, though. Any suggestion on a number for
I
that?
would probably estimate a $10,000 bond, which would take care of the anti-tracking pad, the silt fence, and the 2 infiltration trenches.
Yeah,
And we can review that as a condition of approval with Mr. Preddy. If it has to go up or down, we can modify it as such.
okay. Chris, I think that's probably a decent way to have, John Paul prepare the estimate and have Jim just review it.
Forward it and have him
Is that-
confirm.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
And we did get payment for, wasn't a payment to me, that was a payment for the outstanding fee for Mr. Preedy's services, so that's done. So all the application fees have been paid, so you can act on it.
Okay. Anybody else? I mean, I like this plan better than the first one we approved.
Yeah, it seemed like everything got further
It
away.
is better, yeah.
Do you want to wait and come again, and maybe there'll be a third one that'll be better?
What's that?
A third one might even be better if you want to come again sometime?
No, I don't. I feel that we're just modifying the permit. It is an improvement in some respects.
Yeah,
When we bring these things, it's very difficult when we bring these things as a generic,
yeah.
because you just don't know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
And you can see what happened on 91 Forest Glen, which was a lot larger application than we originally, but it was a much better application. Same thing here.
Well,
It's just,
Some people had a different opinion at the
Yeah.
end. We get some blowback about blasting there, but anyway, but I agree with you,
heard it,
yeah.
and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, but
Yeah,
when
yeah.
my guys came back, they all shook their heads. But anyway,
But no, okay,
and
so,
we're transferring the permit also. There is an existing permit, this is a modification, we're transferring it, and we'll discuss bond with Mr. Preddy.
okay. All right, so do we have a motion to approve the application subject to Jim Preddy approving the bond amount after John Paul submits his estimate? And any other conditions anybody wants to add other than the usual stipulations? Okay, do we have a motion to approve? I think it probably makes sense, we should add that to usual stipulations, I
usual,
think,
okay.
and
And
that
if
way.
blasting's an issue, I would put that on the agenda. I don't know what happened over at Forest Glen, I truly don't. But if there's a concern, then that gets brought up at the pre-construction meeting.
Well, blasting isn't under their jurisdiction. Blasting's
I
under the,
underst-
I'm trying to explain to you what happened. So, there was a neighbor who was concerned once they received notice that there was blasting that was going to occur. And they were not happy that the commission hadn't reviewed it because it's not under their purview. It's something that's under the purview of the fire marshal.
I know that, I'm just saying to bring it up, to make sure that everybody plays
Until
according
those
to law.
notices go to the abutters, there's
Okay.
no way to know.
I just, trying to stop the problem.
Well, sometimes
Okay.
you know, by discussing these, that you don't have jurisdiction over, you create problems for yourselves too, so, and,
Yeah.
so anyway, but no, we appreciate the thought.
I can only say, if you're gonna blast, be prepared for people to complain.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
And the town doesn't really have, at least I couldn't find it, significant blasting regulations. Some towns have a much more, you know, specific process you have to go through, but I didn't see it
The
here.
towns try to control it through the site plan approval process for, fill and how much material can move around. That's the way most towns, and
But blasting.
Is
in
the fire marshal.
In the end, generally what they do is they regurgitate the fire marshal's regulations, which they have no jurisdiction over, because when
Yeah.
planning and zoning was revising its regulations, they were sticking in stuff about blasting, and I asked them, I said, why are you doing this? This is not in your jurisdiction. And the council that they had advising them at that point said, don't put it in here. So, they didn't.
Department of Public Safety through the fire marshal, basically, is the
Yeah.
state, so.
okay, anyways.
Yep.
Can I just be heard on the matter?
Sure,
last?
yeah.
Not to turn this into an academic discussion, but just because it's blasting doesn't mean we wouldn't have jurisdiction over it, because the blasting can cause a significant impact to wetlands and watercourses. So just because we hear the word blasting, I question whether we should just throw our hands up and say we don't have any interest in it because it's regulated by, say, the fire marshal or so. I believe the impact of the blasting, if it can have a significant impact on wetlands and watercourses in the vicinity, is a matter for our commission.
Yeah, we'll have to look into a little bit further.
If the circumstances
yeah.
are such that there are in proximity. And
Yeah,
In the case that we had before, blasting was occurring over 65 feet away from the wetlands. Because of when blasting occurs, there's mats that's put down, the chargers are set, and it's not a big kaboom, it's a poof. And I went out after it had occurred, and there wasn't anything that was flying. I did check with soil scientists and biologists that I knew, and they didn't find, in their experience, that unless it was something like a quarry or a road where there's really significant blasting, that they've ever seen anything that occurs, which is just to, you know, we can ask the question of you, is there blasting that's gonna occur?
I have
And
I
you
don't
don't
think
know.
so, but I'm just saying that at the pre-construction meeting, just mention to make sure it goes to the fire marshal, if there's blasting involved.
Yep.
That's all.
yeah, okay.
So,
I'm finding contractors who know less and less.
Yeah, that's often the case.
You're smiling, you've
Oh,
got
you
the
know what?
same thing.
No, yeah, exactly, so.
So, anyways.
Anyway, we've sort of got distracted. So basically, what we're looking for is a motion to approve the application, subject to the resolution of the bond with, Jim Preddy, and, usual stipulations, unless somebody has anything they wanna add. If that's okay, then, you know, do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll
Dave-
second.
a second. Dave moved, Jack seconded, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions, okay. You're all set, thank you.
Very much,
Yep.
Steve, nice to meet you.
thank you, John Paul.
All right, not much, oh, you know what, we should, you know, typically in the July meeting, we reappoint people to positions here. You know, I've been chairman for the last 28 years, so if somebody else really wants it, I'd be happy to defer.
You
But-
seem to know what you're doing, so.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes, but, so anyway, we need to, take care of that formality also as far as appointing a chairman and vice chairman, so.
Accordingly, I would like to make a motion that Bob Bright be reappointed as chairman of the Inland Wetlands Agency for the next 4-year term.
Well, we do year to year, but yeah, just,
I don't,
well, do we do 4 years? That's, don't
Well,
know.
we'll see next
You
year.
just got reappointed, so we could do 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I don't really care.
I thought, okay.
Yeah, okay, for 4 years, I guess, then we don't do it every month, but until I decide this isn't worth it anymore, but anyway.
Yeah, you
Um,
will. Yeah. Well, I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions, okay. And we should hit, just for formality purposes, have a vice chairman person. You know, I would recommend Jack for that. Do we typically have that, Chris, or?
We haven't, but Jack's normally
He
graciously
usually
stepped
steps
into that,
in.
so we might as well formalize it.
Yeah, why don't we do that if that's okay? So I'll nominate Jack for that, so. You have a second?
Oh, good.
I'll second.
Okay. Josh seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, okay, all set.
Congratulations.
All right, moving right along. Enforcement officer report. Chris, anything going on we need to worry about?
I ran around in the rain last Friday and observed much color going many places. But I did talk to Peter Olson, who was doing work up on Peck Hill, because there was some breaches in his silt fence, and I had him put some a hay bale dike in along one of the other driveways where the water was a low point and the water was coming out. Just, you can't prevent the color, but you can prevent the sediment from getting out in the road. And then I also did go down to Northrop, where there's been quite a bit of clearing, and remarkably, there was nothing. Where the drainage was going in was actually into the hole that had gotten dug for the house that was being built. So it was like, oh, okay, fine, it's going into a place where it's not running anywhere. And they had cleared on the lot that does have wetlands, so I informed them that they can't do anything else there, that they need to come to you before they do anything else. And that they should have come here beforehand, because initially the contact that was made was solely about the middle one that doesn't have any wetlands on it, so.
Yeah.
That will be coming in at some point.
Sometimes the tree clearing people get carried away too, so.
Well, I think because they had the 3 lots that were side by side, they just had them come in and do everything in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
And that's not in my normal routine of going that way, because there wasn't anything happening. But when I went, I saw it, and then they came in.
So is that a cease and restore or a cease and desist?
It was, I didn't formally issue anything, I told them they can't do any further work. I think they were just doing the clearing because they were clearing all 3 lots at once. The only site work is occurring on the middle lot, which is where they're building the house.
So there was no clearing in a review area of the wetlands?
There may have been, but at this point, absent them making an application, there's nothing for you to review. And as long as they don't do anything further, we can address however far they cleared when they come in with the application.
And that's just on one of the 3 lots?
That's on the one that's closest towards Ansonia Road. But there wasn't anything running off from there that was going into the wetlands, which would be south and west. So, didn't, it wasn't, that reminds me, I also went to Wolf Tree, and there was color in the brook there. And I called David Lord, because he's been the one who's been checking on the sediment and erosion controls, and so he was having them go back out, because I wasn't gonna try to walk in the mud down to the corner. So he was going out there the following day and was gonna have them, if there were breaches, have them reinstall stuff, so. So those are the sites that I went to.
Yeah, and hopefully by, next meeting, which will be in September, we'll have some movement on that situation. so, Yeah.
And as I say, with the water that we got, I think we had over 2 inches in an hour. So, you're gonna see color, there's no question. It was just whether or not there was actually sediment moving.
Of course, today didn't help it any. And today didn't help it any further.
No,
4/10 of an inch by my house, it's just up the road.
Yeah,
But we had hail.
oh, really, yeah, New
I think
Haven
you probably
got a
did.
little drizzle, that's about it.
Yeah.
New
Yeah,
Haven.
we didn't get too much snow.
Yeah. Bethany had rain.
I was on Seymour Road at the time, and
Oh, pouring,
it was coming down.
wow. So Chris, no other problems than that?
At the moment, no.
Okay, good. All right, no site visits, approval of minutes for the June 16th meeting, which we have in front of us. And Jean is always very good at
Yeah.
finding
What you
things.
got?
Yeah, I found some, but I didn't print it, so now I've got to just kind of scan it real quick.
Okay,
read it so
usually no one
carefully,
else
I
has
didn't
it.
find anything.
You can circle it on there, and then you can hand me that.
You want me to
How's
do that?
Yeah. I put tests in there for you, Jim.
I have a couple comments, yeah.
Sure.
Just on the first page, and I think the sixth bullet, it says the brook typically stays in gully,
Ah,
so in a gully.
In the 7, 8, 9, it should be placed, not
Yep,
placed in the.
yeah, that's the other one I got.
You prepare great minutes. I've been reading them for months and months. And as I watch the TV, you all on TV too, so I'm comparing my recollection of the meetings with the minutes in excellent detail.
been doing them for about 40 years now, so. I'll get to the point where it's going the other way.
Anybody have any, oh, Gene's still.
Gene's
Gene's still
I
reading.
thought I thought something
Well, if you find it, you can let me know.
else. Okay.
Right, so you wanna approve the minutes subject to the corrections we've already mentioned, and anything else that Gene finds. So do we have a motion to do that?
Also make a motion.
Jack moved, second?
Second.
Oh, you're an alternate though.
Oh, that's right, you're an
Yeah,
alternate
sorry.
at this point.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
okay. Then I'll.
Josh,
There you
seconded,
go.
okay.
Thanks, Josh.
Yep.
Get you in the box score and try it.
All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstentions, okay. So with that, the minutes are approved subject to those corrections and future corrections spotted by Gene. I don't know, we don't have anything else we need to talk about, Chris, or?
I just gave you physical copies of that, request that came in from the West River Watershed
Oh, yeah.
Coalition. I'm not sure that there's much that we can do at this point, but I think it's good for you to be aware that they are out there, and they may ask us for support if there is a grant that gets applied for to do some work and whatnot. When it comes to crossings on public water supply watersheds and on water company property, they normally don't allow bicycles. It's normally only pedestrians, so. Other than that,
So basically, an upcoming attraction perhaps, is that it?
yeah.
All right, we don't have an August meeting, so next time would be September. Anybody else have anything you wanna talk about before we, take our vacation?
And the September meeting isn't the third Wednesday, it's the fourth because of a conflict with Yom Kippur. So it's the 22nd, so.
Anybody else have anything else? No?
No.
Well, we're glad to see you back, Barry. Thank you, Stephen.
Until such time as the administration selects someone else, I'll be happy to see, like a bad penny, I turn.
No, we're happy to have you.
Okay,
So we'll be happy to have you.
Yes,
September 22nd.
yeah.
Yep.
All right, anything, okay, then if nothing else, then we have a motion to adjourn. Jack moved, Josh seconded, all in favor? Aye, opposed, abstentions, we're done at almost record time, 7:48 or so, 7:49. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
See you in September.
Nice to see you.
Dick.
Yes, I know,